I have a question.
Good. Ask you a question.
Yeah.
Question.
You already did. Moving on.
Over.
They definitely rolled their eyes at me. It's okay.
The best.
Welcome to the Caneyville School District 20 Board of Education regular meeting. Maria, please call the roll. Here.
Sarah Hilaria.
Here.
Brent Behavior.
Here.
Amanda Capola.
Here.
Lynn Steiner.
Here.
Natalie Karski. Here. Terry Taylor.
Here.
Okay, a quorum is present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion that the Board of Education approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Abstain? Motion carries. May I have a motion that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Are there any items to be pulled for discussion? Maria, please call the roll.
Sarah Hilaria.
Yes.
Brent Behavior.
Yes.
Amanda Capola.
Yes.
Lynn Steiner.
Yes.
Natalie Karski. Yes. Terry Taylor.
Yes.
Barbara Hunter.
Yes. Motion carries. Anyone wishing to address the board may do so at this time. If multiple individuals wish to address the board on the same subject, the group is encouraged to appoint a spokesperson. Please state your name and affiliation with the district. You are asked to limit your comments to 3 minutes and abide by the public participation policy of the district. Please understand that the board will not respond to your questions and concerns during the meeting. A member of the administration team and/or board will follow up with you after the meeting.
Anyone?
Okay. Moving forward with the board president's report, I have not received any self-monitoring report. Going forward with Dr. Castillo and SACID.
Yes, thank you. SACID Board of Directors met yesterday. Approved under consent agenda were items like the monthly financial and HR items, a facilities use agreement with Northern Illinois University, and the second reading and adoption of the updated policies released with press issue 119. Also for discussion and information were the enrollment numbers, staffing numbers, progress on strategic plan, board committee updates, and any FOIA requests. There was one action item, the approval of a facility specialist to help with the review of future building needs for the cooperative. And then we did have a closed session for our annual board self-evaluation and board meeting protocol development.
Okay.
That concludes my report.
Thank you. Finance and Facilities, Sarah.
Okay, so we met last week, Thursday. It was Thursday this time. No, it was Tuesday. The next one is Thursday. Okay, the next one is Thursday. We met on Tuesday last week at 6, and we talked about the capital projects that happened over the summer. Obviously, Greenbrook was the biggest one. We spent very little time on that, but we also talked about the landscaping around the signs, playground seal coating and striping, floor repair at Springwood, which is kind of an ongoing thing that we just monitor, and mulching the playgrounds. We also talked about an update on the evidence-based funding, or EBF, which is the largest form of state funding. This is based So this is every year districts receive their base funding, what they previously received, plus new funding. To calculate the new funding, districts are assigned tiers based on their level of need, with tier 1 being the least wealthy or the most at-need districts, and tier 4 being the wealthiest or the least need districts. So in recent years, Keeneyville has been a tier 1 school and has therefore received more EBF money. However, for fiscal year 26, we have been designated as a tier 2 district. So the good news is we have less students with needs. The bad news is we're now expected to pay more, right? So due to this tier assignment, the district will receive slightly less revenue than expected from the state, and so will be under budget on that revenue line, just as an FYI. We also talked about an update on the Early Childhood Grant, which funds the Early Childhood Center. At the end of last year, ISB informed us that our funding allotment would increase, and the additional grant funds are actually able to support the cost of staff benefits, additional learning supplies, and some new sensory learning panels outside. I think that's in your slideshow later.
Yeah.
So you can see that in a little bit. We also discussed, as part of the summer stuff, the Greenbrook change orders for the Greenbrook expansion project. The district initially set aside $50,000 for unforeseen changes that have to happen in such a huge project. The grand total was $46,888, which is still under the $5,000 allowance. And of course, we'll receive back the difference. Finally, we talked about the preliminary numbers for the upcoming tax levy. In October, we'll receive the tentative estimates from the Bloomingdale Township's assessor's office, and then reviews those estimates on the EAV values and then the new construction. And then in November, we'll have the tentative tax levy presented to the whole board. And then in December, the final levy will be presented and finalized and all of that. And then the next meeting is on Thursday, November 6th, starting at 6 p.m.
Very good. Thank you. Moving forward with dashboards, the financial dashboard, Brian.
Great, thank you. Up here. This is the finance dashboard. We don't have any particular action items this month. The business office doesn't, but you get to go to the finance dashboard here. Go to the next slide on revenues through September 30th. Yes, here are the revenues for the fiscal year through September 30th. So just an FYI, we're, believe it or not, 3 months into the fiscal year. So the first quarter of the fiscal year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right. So August, September are in the books. So about a quarter through the fiscal year here, the numbers through September 30th. Most revenue lines are on track. Very first line, local property taxes. Most of that revenue has come in. So you see 97.4% of that revenue. We'll still get some property tax revenue here in October, and a little bit will trickle into November to get us closer to that, budget number. A few lines down, federal revenues are trending high. That's due to grant revenue that came in July for previous year's work. So work that was done last year, we got that revenue in July. So you see that federal line trending high. So all in all, total revenues through September 30th, at the bottom there, about $22,381,138, or about 77% of budget revenues. Go to the next slide. Here are the expenditures for the fiscal year through September 30th. Most expenditures are on track. The one line, supplies, is about the fourth line down, trending high, and that's mainly because supplies are purchased at the beginning of the year.
Right.
That line also includes like some software subscriptions and Chromebook leases, and that's all an annual payment that's paid one time at the beginning of the year. So you see, a bigger chunk of that line is used up at the beginning. A little further down, other objects, that's also trending high, it's like 72% of budget. A large portion of that is actually tuition for outplaced students. SACIT has a prepay model for billing. So they bill us on the front end, and then at the end of the year, they do a true up So they pre-bill us, I should say. So that's why that line's so high as well. Total expenditures through September 30th, about 8.8 million, about 27% of budget expenditures. Fund balance report. The fund balances through September 30th. So total revenues for all funds are about 21 million. Total expenditures for all funds are about 7.5 million. You see the transfers to help fund the Green Book expansion project. The ending fund balance for all funds about 33,398,391. It's like 107% fund balance. On the bottom right, our operating funds fund balance about 31,903,000, like 113% fund balance or 412 days on hand. And the next slide is just a visual, the treasury balance, just a visual representation of those numbers. There's the current year in yellow, and there's September. Again, this is through September 30th. The all funds fund balance is about 33.4 million. You see it following similar trend to previous year. We have a higher fund balance early in the year, and we kind of spend down against that. The other thing is that, again, that yellow is the current year. It's a little bit lower compared to previous years, and that's just kind of the committee and the board decided to spend down fund balance. We've traditionally had a higher fund balance. So spending that down to get more in line with board policy of about a 50% fund balance. So you just kind of see that visual there. And lastly, CPI. Actually, this is through August. September figures won't be released till October 24th. Believe it or not, it's connected to the government shutdown. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, a lot of reports they put out, they haven't put them out, so this one's been delayed. So that's actually August CPI figures, so we don't know September's yet. It'll be in next month's report. But I did add December of last year, only because that's relevant for the tax levy. So that December rate is what is used for the tax levy. So that December 24 rate will be used in the tax levy when I bring it to the board next month.
Yep.
And then we'll see where this year ends for the next level. Any questions?
Okay. Dr. Castillo, student and staff attendance dashboard.
Yes.
Good report.
There's a few presentations open. So yes, looking at the attendance for students, I think there was only one day that I was a little bit alarmed, just kind of asking questions, and that's September 12th, and that was only at Greenbrook. So we had a number of absences that day when it comes to students, and most of those were due to illness. We did check that. We did have some that didn't call in or didn't report, but it was due to illness. The other ones, if we go to the next look at the table, they're pretty much very nowhere close to 10%. So that one day it was due to illness. Looking at Waterbury, there's a couple there, but I don't think it reaches the 10%. It's close to like 8 if we look at the table. Okay, so they're pretty low, right around 5, 6, 7. That one on what is that? The 7th of October, you get that 8.23. But not too bad. And then as our students get older into Springwood, again, some of those dates, like that 7th is still large there. Friday, the 3rd, looking at the table. Okay, sometimes those bar graphs can, just look a little bit off, but if you look at the percentage, it's under at 10%.
Yeah.
For staff attendance, If we look at the days of the week, again, Mondays and Fridays, seem to be the days where most staff is off. If we go to the next slide, days of the week for October. So this graph compares last year to this year. So attendance is better this year. So thank you, staff, for being here, having better attendance than last year. It's appreciated. And then we also, if you remember last month, we started looking at attendance by month, and we broke it down by administrator, support staff, and teachers, just to have a different data point, see if it's valuable for us to have. Obviously, we know there's more teachers and there is support staff and that there's administrators, so it's always going to be. But it's the first year we look at it that way, so see if it's valuable later on. And then looking at, oh, yeah, that's it. That's it. No, you're right. That is it. Any questions?
No.
Thank you.
Going forward with the superintendent's report.
That's
Dr.
me again.
Castillo.
Yes. So Institute Day, we had Institute Day on Friday. Successfully delivered with a blend of professional development as well as community building. We started the day with the continuation of our district-wide focus on reframing behavior, a session successfully held by our team that we call the Reframers. At midday, we paused for an annual birthday celebration, which included a German-themed lunch and live music. A testament to the organizational skills of our district office administrative assistants who put that together. So Maria and our other admin assistants, thank you for that. And then the afternoon was dedicated to vital technology trainings offering breakout sessions and topics such as AI for educators, Canva in the classroom, Seesaw Refresher, Parent Square, and Deladale. So we appreciate Jen for coordinating and putting these sessions together. And to all of our presenters who presented during that time, thank you for your expertise and your time. All right, the second item, before I go to my last item, I just kind of wanted to inform our school community, our teachers, our staff. When sharing items up here, it's to provide information to everyone. So I know that sometimes information can be misinterpreted, misunderstood, or sometimes just not heard because people aren't always here. So I pride myself in being transparent, and I welcome anyone, staff members, community members. If there's ever a question, please, or a concern, please ask. If there's additional information needed, or anything that is reported, anything that is reported openly here at the meeting, we're here to answer questions. There's a lot of information, and sometimes we're not going to have all the background information, and there's additional information needed. So please send an email, call, whatever you like. We're here to answer questions. So just wanted to share that before moving on to our recognition of our principals. So the Illinois Principal Association encourages communities across the state to observe Principal Appreciation Week, the week of October 20th to the 24th, and Principal Appreciation Day on Friday, October 24th, which is all of next week. So this is a valued state-endorsed recognition that has been celebrated annually since 1990. Tonight, we want to formally and personally express our deep gratitude to our outstanding building principals. We will recognize them with a certificate and a small gift as a token of our appreciation for everything they do to lead our schools and support our students and staff. So thank you for all that you do and for your service. If I can have our 4 principals, please come up to receive your certificates and be recognized.
Down. Mandy doesn't get a spot. Move over. She's in the middle. Down. Help. She doesn't know which spelling is which. Yeah, but John Waterbury John doesn't have an H and Greenbrook John does have an H. There you go.
And we do have we couldn't not recognize them without a video. So we do have a
Yes.
video to show you that we put together for our principals.
With kids in it, I hope.
Of course.
Thank you, Miss Aubrey, for all that you do. You are a wonderful principal, and I enjoy working with you, and I look forward to many years of us working together.
Thank you, Mandy, for all your help, all your support. You always ready to help us. Your door is always open for us, for listen to our problems, solve our problems. I'm so happy to working with you. Thank you for everything.
One reason why it is great working with Mandy is she is the first principal that I've had that was a speech pathologist. So it's very cool to have someone who understands the perspective of what it's like to be a service provider in the schools. Thanks, Mandy.
Thank you for being the best principal.
Thank you, Dr. Pecora. You're the best principal ever. Thank you for supporting Waterbury Rockets.
Dr. Pecora has definitely made the lives of students and staff here at Waterbury better through his leadership. Whether he is trying to make a student laugh and cheer up, or whether he's consoling a staff member who's going through a difficult time, he has definitely made Waterbury a much brighter space because his leadership. There is no better way to thank Dr. Pecora than through jokes. So I have some jokes that I want to share. Who is the student's best friend? The principal.
Oh, man.
Thank you for being the best principal, and thank you for being the best principal I've ever seen in my life. Also, my
I feel so lucky to have Dr. Pecora as my principal here at Waterbury. Being a new staff member can sometimes be challenging just to start at a new school, but he's been so supportive along the way and just asked me what I need and how he can help me, so I feel really lucky.
We love you, Dr. Pecora! Thank you for being such a nice principal. And I just want to thank you for being such a good principal. And thanks for telling the jokes.
I did the clock go to the principal's office. I don't know why. Because he was always running late. Waka waka waka. Thank you, Dr. Pecora! Thank you, Dr. Pecora!
I love the dog.
You're the best.
Thank you, Mr. G.
Thank you, John, so much for everything you do here at Greenbrook School. You are such an integral part of our community. The connections that you make with families and the staff members is really appreciated. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Mr. G. Thank you, Mr. G.
It's Mr. Byron. I'm here to say Greenbrook adores Mr. G in a major way. He's one of Keeneyville's most famous figures, giving high five playing rock, paper, scissors. He's here for his students and he's here for his staff, lending a hand, a listening ear, or a laugh. He's legendary, a gentle giant in nature. He's Greenbrook's very own first super gator. Thank you, Mr. G, for all you do. We want to say you rock and a big thank you.
Thank you, Mr. G.
Oh, dear.
We wanted to thank you, Mr. Aliano, for all you do, for all your hard work as principal here. So everyone on three. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Hello, Keeneyville. This is Mr. King, the assistant principal to the wonderful Mr. Aliano. I was inspired by a rap presented to you all by Mr. Byer, the assistant principal, lesser assistant principal, over at Greenbrook Elementary School. Although I believe he chat GPT'd his rap, I thought I'd do something a little bit more unique. little bit more personal, a poem, a limerick, if you will, to celebrate our principal, Mr. Aliano. He is Springwood's fearless leader, also a great classroom teacher. Cheers, Aliano. Italiano. Could not find a better creature. Cheers to you, Mr. Aliano. Thank you for being the best principal our students could have.
Gracias, Mr. Aliano!
We have an awesome principal here at Springwood Middle School. Just like famous leaders in our country, George Washington, Martin Luther King, Pope Leo. Just like them, we have Mr. Philip Aliano, which we believe should be carved in stone on Mount Rushmore. Just like that.
Thank you, Mr. Aliano, for everything you do. We appreciate you.
Oh my goodness.
Mandy, John, Phil, it's great to have you on the team. Thank you for everything that you do. Doesn't go unnoticed and much appreciated. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
Next, we have Carrie is going to come and give her report as well as the fall benchmark data presentation.
Use the phone to pick them.
It's pretty fancy.
Hey, good evening, everyone. This is our fall annual benchmark assessment discussion, but I wanted to start by talking about the changes to the NWEA MAP norms. So you're going to notice that there's not end of year comparisons to beginning of the year comparisons this year. And that's because MAP changed their norms and how they determine what percentile and where students fall. So the purpose of norms are really used to describe where a student is compared to national peers. Norms show typical growth and achievement of a student. They provide a normal distribution or a bell curve, and they help predict likely growth predictions. So students within the same grade and the subject and the same amount of instruction, where would they fall out nationally compared to peers? So NWEA MAP updated their growth norms, and their reason for doing that is because the demographics in the US have changed. We've seen post-pandemic shifts in student performance, and they updated their item selection algorithm for the new MAP test, which is great because in the past, if a student got a question wrong, it would pull a similar question about the same topic at any grade level. So if you have a sixth grader getting a like first grade or second grade question. Now the algorithm pulls from a grade equivalent question, reworded a different way, changed a little bit. So their algorithm has changed, and they did that over the past 2 years using sample school districts, including ours, that wanted to participate in the pilot. And I felt it was very important that we be a part of that pilot because our demographics look very different than other school districts. So we had been a part of that. So our students were actually counted in some of those norms that they, the new norms that they've created. So we can't compare last year to this year on this assessment anymore. So the norm shifted down. So if you take a look on that bell curve, it's more pointy, and there's less students between the 25th and the 75th percentile. And now the new norms are more spread out, which means students who were around the 30th percentile or were below the 30th percentile before are now above. And students who were close to the 95th percentile before are now above. So the bell curve widened out. We can't very well compare last year's to this year. So I wanted to just make sure that you understood.
Yeah.
Now we'll get on to the data, my favorite piece. We're going to start with MAP data since we just kind of talked about those scores. In second grade reading, we don't do map reading in kindergarten or first grade. We start in second grade. So our map reading scores, we have very few students falling below the 25th or below the 10th percentile. And MAP said, based on these new norms, we will see a dip in winter. So it'll be interesting to see how we fall. But right now we're looking really, really good with almost 30% across the district at or above the 95th percentile. In third grade, we're still seeing a very small amount of our students falling below that 10th percentile. And we're having 20% at or above the 75th percentile. We want our students, for our new board members who haven't seen a presentation before, we want our students to be in the light green, the dark green, and the blue. That means so light green is the 25th to the 50th percentile. The dark green is the 51st to the 75th percentile. And the blue is the 76th percentile and above. In fourth grade, we're seeing quite a few more students below the 10th percentile. And this is something that we did see while we were looking at our intervention data as well. So our interventionists already took a look at some of our data, and they said that fourth grade was a grade level that they needed to intervene in. So we do have a few more students in our fourth graders that are receiving literacy intervention than in other grades. We don't see the same at fifth grade. So at fifth grade, we see back to what it kind of looked like for second through fourth. So again, we'll see what the winter has to bring, but we should expect a dip according to MAP. Switching over to math, we do math at first grade, but I'm only going to show you the English taught classrooms because it's very hard to show the Spanish taught class on an English test. It is given in Spanish, but that's also still testing their ability to read Spanish. So they're taken out of this data. Our math data does look stronger than our literacy data. In second grade, we're still seeing quite a bit of students at or above the 75th percentile, but a very large range from the 25th and above. Third grade, about the same. And in fourth grade, our math scores are a lot higher than our literacy scores. So our students are scoring higher in math in fourth grade than they are in literacy. You can see that the red that's Waterbury all the way on the end. It's so small, it couldn't even show the number. I believe it was 3. And our fifth grade math scores. So as the year progresses, for our newest board members, I'll put these side by side so you'll be able to see fall, winter, and spring side by side so we can determine, are our students making growth? And part of this also shows us, are our students on track to meet expectations on IAR, which is the Illinois Assessment of Readiness. So we want to continue to see and hope to continue to see these numbers staying that high. Switching over to Springwood in literacy and math, this is 6th, 7th, and 8th. Very good scores at or above the 75th percentile and very few students falling below the 10th percentile. In 7th and 8th grade, their data looks consistent to prior years. Even though we can't compare it, it still looks very consistent to prior years. And this is math. And our math scores tend to be a little bit higher than our literacy scores. All right, moving on to FastBridge. So FastBridge is an assessment that we use mostly with our primary learners, our kindergarten and first grade learners. And then we do have assessment that we use 2nd through 5th, but mostly we're looking at our FastBridge data to look at early literacy. So our early literacy overall in our English taught classrooms, our students came into first grade doing very well with 25% of our students at or above the 75th percentile and only 15% of our students across the district at or below the 10th percentile. In the English taught classrooms, I do have the data for the Spanish taught classrooms because it's specific to their literacy. This is nonsense word fluency. So the students are given a word that's not a word and they have to be able to sound it out and read it. This is an area that's showing us that it's a little bit of a deficit. So we're going to have to meet with our teachers to figure out how to fill in some of those gaps, because if we have 22% of our students across the district at or below the 10th percentile, this is something that we're going to have to work on. So that's part of the purpose of this data, so we can figure out how to fill those gaps. In sentence reading fluency, that is exactly what it is. This is the student's first time taking this assessment, so they have to read a full sentence to a teacher that they may or may not know necessarily. But if you take a look overall at the top end, we're doing really well, but then we have a group at the bottom who's also struggling. So that it's that middle where we're trying to push our students, but our top end is doing really well with sentence reading. We just have to figure out how to push our students who are having a little bit more difficulty. And sight word fluency is exactly what it is. It's reading words that we're just supposed to know without sounding it out. Our students are doing a really good job with sight word fluency. Word segmenting is being able to see a word and chop it up, break it apart, and then read it. But it's an actual word, unlike the nonsense word fluency. And this is typically what we see with our fall first grade. So we're about where we were last year, with more growth actually at or above the 50th percentile when I look back last year, because Fastbridge didn't change their norms, but I wanted to make the presentation consistent. Now for our dual language classrooms in first grade, we know that at Waterbury, most of our class is English speakers and they're learning Spanish. And in Greenbrook, most of our class are Spanish speakers learning both Spanish and English. I mean, they're all learning English, but mostly in Spanish. But our overall, for our Fastbridge early reading, for our 2 dual language first grade classrooms, the data is hard to see or hard to read as well, because when we're only talking about 2 classrooms. So 2 students makes a big difference in the percentile, because we're talking about a much smaller population. Yes, Miss Hilaria. They're percentages. Right. The percent of students within that, yeah. Not number of students.
Right, that makes it.
But in a class of 10,
right,
1 student makes a big deal. This is sentence reading fluency. And again, they read these in Spanish. Sight word fluency. And syllable reading fluency. And this is actually a large focus in our dual language and our Spanish taught classrooms. For first grade, the expectations are a lot higher for syllable reading fluency than they are in kindergarten. So this is similar to what we've seen last year with our first grade class. And word segmenting, which is a lot harder. So working with our dual language team to figure out what is our resource not including, because we're clearly missing something with word segmenting fluency. So what are we not including? What do we need to beef up? Yes.
This test is testing their Spanish fluency.
Yeah.
So why is it so high in the 0 to 10 percentile? Because a lot of our students in the dual language program are natives.
They're native speakers, but they're not native readers. So they're still learning to be biliterate.
Okay.
Yes, Miss Taylor.
I have a question. I was babysitting about a month ago, and the little kids that came, they had their little iPads from school, and they had books that read to them, you know, when they got tired of me entertaining them. And they also had books for them to read. So they were probably at about 3rd grade level, right? What software is loaded onto the laptops or the iPads that the kids here have? Are they Spanish and English, and do like
Tons.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have all the resources that go along with our curricular resource are on their Chromebooks that they take home. They have Epic. They have access to the actual local library. There are lots of literacy and math resources that the students can use when they get home, if their parents choose to have them on their device when they get home.
Right. And how much parent training is going into that to like show the parents how to use it and encourage the parents to have quiet time with the kids or whatever? Because when my kids were in school, there was no TV Sunday through Thursday.
Sure.
Right. So how much parent training is going into that? And then I think phonics plays a big role in a lot of that.
In the Spanish taught classrooms, it's very different. The way that you teach the language is completely different. So it's talking about phonics, it's more about syllable reading. It's very, very different. I haven't provided any parent training on how to use a Chromebook.
And you know what, too? In order to have successful students, a lot of it, you work with the parents.
Sure.
You get with the parents. So that I just wanted to ask. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. First grade Fast Bridge early math overall. And I took the Spanish talk classrooms out because this assessment is not in Spanish. It's only in English. So overall first grade early math. And these are where we're testing their very basic skills. So decomposition, being able to take a number apart. Number sequencing. So if they're given 3 or 4 numbers, being able to put them in order. And when we're in first grade, we're talking about larger numbers than they had to do in kindergarten. They're doing very well in that area. And then we move to second grade Fast Bridge. So the rest of these assessments are 2nd through 5th. And it's a different version kind of map, so that we have 2 data pieces that are similar to take a look at. So these are our second grade A reading scores. Again, it's a similar assessment to MAP. Third. And in fourth, you'll see that the 4th grade literacy looks the same on Fast Bridge and on MAP. Their scores came out very similar. And then 5th grade A reading. The 5th grade scores don't look the same. So we have to take a look. We were able to dive into Fast Bridge data at a different level and figure out where those gaps are for intervention purposes. Moving on to A math. So again, it's a similar assessment like NWEA at 2nd grade, and we only do this in 2nd through 5th. Third. Fourth grade. Doesn't look like their MAP scores again. So we take the intervention team takes a dive into the data to determine where those gaps are and how we can support teachers within the classroom with that. And 5th grade. So Fast Bridge didn't change their norms, but MAP did. So we'll take a look in winter and we'll see how we're doing and if it's comparable. And it's very interesting to look at the 2 different assessments and see how they're comparing. Any other questions? Yes.
Programs are not being tested in any way, shape, or form in English.
No. Because their instruction is in Spanish.
Understood.
Once they get to 2nd grade, yes, because more of their instruction changes to English. So then their assessments in spring, they take all the assessments in English and all the assessments in Spanish. Because that's when the instruction is really changing and switching languages. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. All right, next we have Colleen.
Comes up under 90, I think we told about probably 94. So you can see all the things that I can do.
A lot of great stuff.
Question. Is there any chance that the principals could go first so the students that are here can go home? Are you okay with going out of order a little bit? Okay.
Sorry, I should have mentioned it before, my bad. Here. Okay, I have some friends up here to join us for Springwood. We're wearing our Blue Strong, our new Springwood logo, and they're going to talk a little bit about themselves and also a little bit about our new soccer program. So first off, they're going to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Angel, and I've been in this district for 4 years, and the one word I could pick to describe the school is family, because the 4 years I've been here, it felt like I was cared about, and the teachers are like family.
Good night to everyone. My name is Santiago. I have been in the district for 4 years. And one word that I pick for describe Springwood is respect, because they always treat me with respect.
Hi, my name is Marlene. I've been in the district for 9 years. One word to describe Springwood is connected, because I always feel connected to the staff here and the students.
Hi, my name is Shaya, and I've been in this district for 9 years. And one word to describe Springwood is safe, because once I walk in the building, I feel really safe by all my peers.
Now it sounds like I picked those words for them, but I didn't. Okay. So I asked them to introduce themselves and just think about, they went home and they thought about one word that represents Springwood to them. And those are the words that they came up with. And they shared it right before the meeting. It's exactly what our staff, that believe in too. So I'm so glad that you guys got to share those words without any guidance. Those are the words they picked. So, things that are happening at Springwood before we talk, we'll get to soccer, but we're going to talk about, I'm going to give a shout out to the custodial staff. We had Brian sent out 1,000 emails about making sure our building's up to par and ready to go for ROE and fire inspection. But our staff did a good job, but it was Kiko, Pedro, Mauricio, and we don't give enough credit to the night crew. The night crew is amazing. We're very lucky at Springwood. Our night crew is by far the best. They do feed me at night when I stay late, so that's a positive. Our staff currently, we're working on some professional development of co-teaching strategies. So we have Miss Lyons. She's going to help out doing a little bit of working with SACID and working with some of the teachers and bringing it back to the staff. We did have a family bingo night last night. I made a big mistake. I forgot to change the district calendar. It was supposed to be paint night, but we're going to say paint night's huge. It was one of the, I would say, one of my favorite events that was last year. We're going to push that to the spring. So we snuck in a family bingo night. A huge shout out to Brianna, Rachel, Julie, Jova, the legendary of 4 schools, Adamowski. The student council, the students that showed up, we had kids just coming through wanting to help. So that was awesome. And then the teachers were like, I'm going to say one, but I know there's more than one, but Miss Gibbons brought her daughter and they're playing bingo, and just seeing the families involved was so wonderful. Upcoming events, Riley is getting ready for the Springwood Band Spooky concert on October 22nd. Lake Park and some of the Springwood staff have worked together for articulation. 6th to 7th and 8th grade students got to go visit Lake Park for their play. And then one thing we changed this year, each of the grade levels made their own goal using MAP, and they were presented to the students, and they made goals and rewards if they hit that goal. So that was kind of something new we tried each year that each grade level tried. Now on to athletics. Cross country has just ended. Girls basketball is in full swing, so we're really excited. Once we start getting to the winter months, we have our gym filled till 5 o'clock, and it's so much fun because usually cross country ends at 4 and our clubs end at 4. But having students in the building till 5, it's fun when I'm working at the computer and just getting out to the gym and seeing someone in the gym and practicing with them or just shooting around with them. It's fun. And Mr. Campbell, Mr. Carner, and Palopoulos are doing a great job. Lastly, this is who you guys want to hear, not me. First off, soccer. I've been here for over 20 years, and we've wanted soccer for so long. And I've been a soccer player. My daughter plays soccer. I've coached at the high school level, and finally this year it came along. It was a lot of work this summer coming up with. We're all supporting our new logo that we created. So it's like our own personal logo that we've made this summer, picking out the uniforms. Mr. Campbell, shout out to him, getting the teams lined up, which isn't, and starting so late, finding refs nowadays at this late is very difficult. But Mr. Campbell was on that phone, hounding refs, making sure that we're ready. But we had a lot of games. We're looking to get more involved next year. It's not going to be a official sport, but it's going to be still a soccer club for next year unless the other feeder schools buy into it. So each of them are going to share about their experience being part of the soccer program.
The last game felt like La Liga finals, and my friend took off his shirt.
Wait, say it again. Everyone needs to hear that.
My friend took off his shirt.
That was his favorite memory. Who's your friend? Oh, Santi. Go take your shirt off here, please.
Oh, do I do it? Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta run.
No, that's good. One memory I have is that I scored the first goal and the first hat trick in the first game. So yeah.
One of the memories was when Santi did a celebration of taking off his shirt. And just like spending time with my friends while playing soccer as well.
One of my favorite memories from soccer season was after the last game, they held like a barbecue, and I got to spend time with my friends right there.
How many games do we have?
Like 5 or 6.
Dude, we should have had
6,
7. Good job. All right, we're gonna do a quick selfie because that's been our tradition. Any questions for these awesome athletes? All right, ready? Santi, don't take off your shirt.
Okay.
This is. There you go. Thank you.
I know student voice, one thing that we're working on. Thanks for letting me sneak in. Of course. If we can, continue with the. Keep going. Back to Cora. I know you always like to come after all, but not.
I was literally going to try to go to the bathroom so that John got called instead of me. That's a hard one to follow. So a couple things in the video tonight on the principal's appreciation, you saw me getting pied very briefly. That was part of our first trimester school carnival that's put on by our PBIS team. I believe some of our team representatives are here tonight, so if you guys can do a little wave. Yeah. And, that is staff driven. They come up with it. The kids, there's a variety of activities the kids do get to participate in. It is a wonderful day. And yes, they do get to pie me. So I was happy to see that you got one with me getting hit. I had my hood on because I didn't wear sunscreen that day. And so my, bald head, it fries. That wasn't a joke, but it's kind of funny. Anyways, so beyond that's our big anchor celebration. We have a couple of things that we are planning. Our family reading night that's coming up very shortly, and the annual Halloween parade is going to be 2 days early on the 29th as well. So we're looking forward to these wonderful events that are coming up. Piggybacking off Dr. Buckley and her presentation on data, she mentioned that we really look into the data and start to develop out goals. My EL, and this is Sylvia again, and Patricia and boy, Sandy, sorry. I tried to look away and then I needed to look back. They all are participating in our language development and how to support our EL learners. And they've been attending some wonderful professional development and growing their competency and are getting prepared on really how to share out and support our staff. So it's been phenomenal to see that step and that growth in that staff leadership that's being developed. Some of our higher achievers, I see Maria here as well. It's a kudos to her and the work that the classroom teachers are really doing to help push and excel our students. And so we've been targeting some very specific professional development to make sure that they are supported with the current and best research topics that are out there. So I do appreciate that flexibility that Dr. Buckley and Dr. Castillo are providing to really help us enact these goals for our students. So with that, thank you very much.
Good evening. Well, yes, we do have our first trimester goal that we're reaching for here at Greenbrook School. We have 3 different levels. We're trying to collect Gator Gotchas. Our first level is a dance fiesta. Our second level is dance fiesta with party lights. And our third level is a dance fiesta, party lights, and then everybody gets a glow stick and everything else like that. So I am pleased to announce we've reached the first level. So now we have till the end of November or the second week in November. We're trying to get to that third level, so hopefully we can get it. We did have our kindness challenge assembly, and our students had a great time with our staff and everything else. And it was a good thing to kind of show kindness for one day and just see that gym of the interaction with everything else like that. But the biggest thing was just how the kids wanted to take it to another level. So hopefully we can keep spreading that kindness throughout the whole school year. And one of the things that we've done this year is we have a Super Gator. And what does the Super Gator mean? It's a student who goes above and beyond in showing kindness, respect, and responsibility. These students are recognized when they step up to help their peers, support staff members, and demonstrate true spirit of being a Gator. Super Gators are role models for others, showing us all what it looks like to live out of our school values every day. And this can be done by anybody in the building and anything else like that. And we've already had 10 students recognized for Super Gators already. So this is something I'm just so proud of, just to see people being recognized, and anybody can give a kid a Super Gator. We did have our Students of the Month for September. We had a total of 12 students that were recognized from kindergarten to fifth grade. And then Mr. Byer is going to do a podcast with all of them. He's big on this rapping and podcasting, so we'll see how well this goes. But hopefully we can see something like that in the future. I will say, being the principal, I would really appreciate, everything that our staff does, but I can't do this alone. I mean, the staff, the students, the families, and everything else is what makes Greenbrook School. And I mean, sometimes I submit my board report, and then all of a sudden I come here and I'm like, man, there's a lot of things I could have put in there, but I've already submitted it. So, I mean, talking about data and everything else that we have tonight, I do have to say that Greenbrook School had the DuPage ROE come in, and my ILT team were there when the DuPage ROE was there. We were going over this data. They were talking about it and how we can improve, what things can we work on, and things like that. And afterwards, I was very impressed with my ILT team, just the way they wanted to dig in. It didn't matter who was in the room. They were talking about what challenges we needed to do, what things we need to do, what are our strengths, what can we do better, and everything else like that. And then she came over on the next day, and that went into our intervention when we pulled in grade levels, and the same thing happened. All I know is when she was leaving my building, she said to me, she was like, I've never seen somebody really not be worried about talking about data and talking about things and what they need to improve or what things they need to look at. When I heard that, and you're talking about DuPage ROE, which we belong to, that's huge. And that's not me. That's our staff and students here at Greenbrook. So thank you.
Hello, everyone. So last month at the Early Childhood Center, we had on the 19th, we did our first Parent Education Day. We provide childcare, so that doesn't prevent families from coming, but our staff gave presentations on a variety of different areas of development. We also sent that information out on Parent Square so that they had that information electronically, and then those who weren't able to attend were able to get that. That worked really well. We got surveys back from that, and we got very good positive feedback, so we were happy with the success of that. We also last month on the 26th did our last fall screening, so those students have been starting this month, and our next one will be January 30th. And then looking forward on the 24th, we have our first fall field trip to Windy Acres. The kids love that. All of our field trips are family engagement activities, so parents come with the child. We do provide, if people want to drive and meet us there, they can, but we do provide bus service so that doesn't prevent people from coming. We want students to, parents and their kids to have a good experience together, but also for our families to see some of the different things in our community and what's available to them. Coming up, we do have our parent-teacher conferences, and we did do that through Parent Square for the first time, which went very smoothly. It was very easy for our teachers, and it was also very easy for our families to sign up. They were signing up right away, and we found out they get reminders if they haven't signed up. So it was very smooth. It worked really well. On the 30th, that day that staff is there from 2 to 7, when we evaluate our students from early intervention, it's a little bit different because they're not in school yet. So parents bring them in. So we are using, our specialized staff doesn't usually have as many conferences. So we are using part of that time to do some evaluation so that parents don't have to miss work to bring their kids in for that. So we're really just trying to utilize our time to the best of our ability. So that's what's going on with ECC. Thank you.
Go, Colleen.
I just want to say my name is Colleen Flores and I've been in this district for 40, what did we say, 8 years? 48 years, something like that. I asked Estefanio Bravo to be here tonight to kind of give you an overview of McKinney-Vento and what it means and how we support students. Every year, we're required by the state to not only give a presentation to the board and the community, but as well as staff, including secretaries and teachers, and we've done that. And so tonight, I'm going to introduce Ms. Estefanio Bravo to give you that presentation.
Hello, I handed out a brochure that we get through ISB for the state and all of the guidelines that we have. We have them at each school and at the district office as well. But just going into part of what I do is identifying our most vulnerable students who qualify under McKinney-Vento. And so the McKinney-Vento Act is a federal law ensuring educational rights and protections for children and youth experiencing homelessness. And the goal is always to remove those barriers for school enrollment, increase their attendance, and just provide a safe environment for them. So who qualifies for McKinney-Vento are students without a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. So what we'll see is a lot of families who are living in shelters, motels, or even their cars. And what we experience a lot in our community is families who are experiencing doubled up. So what that is, they can be renting one house and you can have up to 5 families in that house alone. And not everyone is going to qualify as doubled up. Families can, if I choose to live with a family member that is not experiencing homelessness. And also students who are living in substandard housing, if their housing conditions are not up to qualifications. Rights of McKinney-Vento include immediate enrollment in schools, even without any records. It is our job to help them right away get any immunizations, physicals, any pending doctor's appointments that they need. And they also have the right to attend the school of origin where they were last permanently housed or local school. So we experience this a little bit given our boundaries. We have students who are living in a hotel out of our district area, and we have to provide a taxi or some kind of transportation to get them here every day if this is the school they choose, or vice versa. They relocated out of our district, but they want to continue at a school out of this district area, we will cost share that. Also, they do receive free meals, school waivers, and supplies. It's also on a need base. If parents identify something else that they may need, we can always support. And some signs that we notice for lack of permanent housing are frequent absences, tardiness, some poor hygiene, sleeping in class, the constant fatigue, lack of school supplies, appropriate weather attire, and hesitation to share contact information or sudden address changes. So the teacher's role in this is to inform building admin, social workers, and myself of any concerns if a student is experiencing homelessness, maintain confidentiality, and just be flexible with assignments that they might not be able to do on time, deadlines, and poor communication with parents. As my role as a family liaison, I identify and investigate eligible students, ensure their rights are upheld the minute the process starts with a new family. I'm working with their admin, secretaries in that school, whether it's supporting them with a tour or anything to help them feel welcomed right away, and connecting them with services as best as I can. And some of those resources that I have in the community for them are local shelters, housing services. We know there's a crisis right now with homeless, and just finding adequate living situations for them. Aside from them, the food pantries in the area, clothing banks, and then school-based support services with meals, tutoring, any mental health support. Question?
I want to give a huge shout out. I mean, when I was an assistant principal at the middle school, this was one of my roles. It is a very demanding role. It's hard to set a schedule. It's hard to kind of work through your day because when a family comes in, that's your priority. Transportation alone could take you an entire day. And there is like a taxi shortage. There is some transportation issues that we've had to work through to really try and take that barrier away from our families and try to provide something consistent for kids that are dealing with this. So huge shout out. You've done an amazing job.
Thank you.
One last thing, another shout out that I have. I just wanted to say, today our STC program, was able to go swimming, and I want to thank the Big Blue Swim School in Glendale Heights, for partnering with us, to provide the swimming experience for our kids. They've opened up their doors, during a time when they're usually closed, and provided us with some instructors to help get the kids in the water. I went today. It was amazing. It was so nice to see. And we have some of our teachers that they get in the pool with the kids. I give them a lot of credit. But to see the faces on the kids, to be able to get in the water, they're so comfortable. It's 85 in there. So I was kind of like, I'd go in there. But thank you to them. We used to go to Elgin for the park district. And so this is just, much easier for our kids to access and more convenient. So thank you.
That concludes our reports.
May I have a motion that the Board of Education enter closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district or legal counsel for the district, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee or against legal counsel for the district to determine its validity. Is there a second? All those in favor? Abstained? Maria, please call the roll.
Brian Hafer.
Yes.
Amanda Capola.
Yep.
Lynn Steiner. Yes. Natalie Petarski. Yes. Terry Taylor.
Yes.
Barb Wannett.
Yes.
Sarah Valeria.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. We will enter closed session. So we'll enter closed session and then come back for.